Hey, look at that. It's the L-Gaim Mark II. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at this big old kit here, and that's because Bandai kind of forced my hand on this one. This one I've had in the queue. I've been excited to build it, but Bandai just recently made an announcement that they're going to have a P-Bandai HG release of this kit coming out early next year. So I thought, well, better check out this kit, which is essentially like a master grade version of that, but it's not under the master grade line. It's actually R3, which is their Real Robot Revolution line, which I don't know how many kits they did in that line necessarily. It's not one that I'm particularly familiar with, although I will just say that this style of box art really reminds me of the old 1/44 scale seed kits when those first were coming out. It's like the exact same like font and like box art style, it seems like, in my mind, as far as how I like remember those kits. But I should say this is not necessarily a anime franchise or robot that I really know too much about. It's just a really cool design. This kit came out all the way back in 2007, so it's been out for quite a while, and as you can see, it's in this bigger size box, and it's got a full-on interframe and everything, so it should be pretty cool. Let's just go ahead and check it out, see what we got in store for us. So yep, just here on the front, just some cool box art with it holding its big massive cannon that it's got there with the wires that run up into its crotch there for that. It's very cool. This is the Mark II. There is a Mark I as well, but that's just coming out as just a normal HG, I should say, or like a sort of redone HG. It's going to be coming out, I guess, of that, as far as new kits coming out. Here's the end of the box there. On this side of the box, you can see the front and rear view, what it's going to look like all painted up. Very cool design on this. It's quite unique, and there's the Buster launcher that's got on there. Not a whole lot of English, basically just a little bit, just because it's made back in 2007 before they put a lot of English on the boxes. It's got the power launcher, saber, and hand launcher, the binder there up on the shoulders, the Plawler, which I guess is the name of the transformed form of this, Viewee, which is, I guess, the little sort of core fighter, I guess, sort of thing inside there. And then a couple of figures included with this as well, which is pretty cool. On the other side here, an action shot, which is basically just on this stand, which I'm assuming is included, which is very cool. The movable flame, a little bit of a misspelling on that. I guess that's supposed to be, say, movable frame, I can imagine. But that looks really cool in that kind of tannish, brownish kind of color there. And then there's a look at just all the parts and the frame and everything. You can see there's a lot of stuff in the box, so it should be pretty cool. The list price for this is 5,500 yen, which honestly not too bad. I mean, it's pretty standard like MG price point, I feel like, for this. And we got a fair amount of stuff in here, the full interframe and all that, so it makes sense. As for the runners, we've got 11 bags of runners there. I think I may have lost count. And our instruction manual. Alright, so on the instruction manual here, we've got a photograph of the painted kit, looking very nice. Some information over here in Japanese, and then about the characters as well too. It looks cool. On the back we have our color guide, it looks like. So you got front, side, and rear view pictures there of the inner frame, as well as the transformed state and the characters down here as well too. So you have all the colors laid out for all that stuff. Going in here to the front pages, no thing as like other photographs or other things to look at. I guess inside of here there's a little bit there, I guess, towards the end. Opening it up to the front pages here, we've just got our parts list all laid out there, and then it just gets right into the construction. But if we flip to the middle pages here, we do have some more stuff to look at here in the middle. Basically some more detailed images there of the frame. Some more information, it's all in Japanese, but you got some detailed pictures of some different aspects of the kit all around here. Over here, some of the other kits in the series, the 100 scale version of this, I guess, so it's just the older one, I think. And then we've got some of the old 144 scale series, and these are the ones that are coming out in a new set. I think they're re-releasing 4 of these in a new set, where it's just basically re-releasing them, because I don't know why, they're just releasing them as a set. And then these are the HGs, the 144 scale HG kits that are being re-released as well too, and I think they have like some improvements. They got some new parts, like for some of the joints in them, basically. The L-Gaim Mark I, the Atoll, and the AUG. So if you're interested in this series, there's some new stuff coming down the pipe, which is cool. But there you go. Some other just information there, I guess, just about some past illustration work, things like that. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the runners then, shall we? Okay, so first off, we are going to have some foil stickers here for the kit. Basically just a couple little camera bits for the most part, it looks like, and then just these larger color apps, which aren't that great to see, but there aren't too many at least. Then we've got our wire bits, 2 bags of them, but they look to be identical sets, 2 larger black ones and 2 thinner gray ones, and got doubles of that. Alright, then here runner A is in this clear dark blue color for the panels on like the sides of like the shoulder binder parts, which is very interesting. I did not know that these parts were going to be clear. That looks very cool. And then a couple handle sort of looking parts down there at the bottom as well. Runner B is going to be our clear orange parts for this, which also look really cool. Runner C is then a clear teal, kind of turquoise, greenish blue kind of color there. It looks very nice as well. And then runner D is going to be our clear yellow beam saber effect parts for this, which are quite long. Then runner E is getting into some of our exterior armor parts in this light bluish gray color, looking very nice. There's our 2 character figures on there as well. Runner F is a smaller runner in that same color, and we've got 2 of these for more armor pieces. Runner G is a big ABS runner here in that same color, but these are going to be mostly looks like parts for the binders on there. Runner H, another big one, but this is switching over to our dark bluish navy color, and these are going to be a lot of fun to cut out all those little bits to go inside the binders, and you have the big parts for the backpack there obviously. Runner I, also pretty big here, but a bunch more of our navy colored parts. Runner J now getting into our inner frame parts, which is in definitely a very brownish color, and this is also in ABS plastic. Runner K then as well, more inner frame parts, and we've got 2 of this K runner. And runner L, also more brown inner frame parts, still in ABS plastic. We got 2 of these as well. Runner M here is in red, and it's really nice, slightly orangey kind of red color. Runner N here is also in a bluish gray kind of color there for the weapons, looks like mostly, but it's a little bit darker than what we have for the main armor color. Runner O here also in that red color for our piping bits, but this is in a soft flexible rubber runner here for these. And then runner P as well too is in a soft rubbery plastic for a couple parts there. It looks like probably around the stomach section, and I think probably for the neck up here. And lastly, runner Q is our parts for the effect base, which looks very nice. I really like this design for the base, that's pretty cool. And then runner R is our polycaps here for the kit in brown. So there you have it, guys. This is gonna be a really cool kit, I'm thinking. So it all depends on like how stable it is and everything, with it not being in Bandai's main Gunpla line. We'll see, but it does look like it has a lot of really great detail on there, and it's from 2007, so it's old enough, but it's not that old, so it should be pretty solid. We'll find out, I guess, here momentarily, and we get it all built up, and then we'll see. Alright guys, here it is, and this is a tall boy. It's a big kit, and a really detailed kit as well too. Now the really weird thing about this is that on the exterior of the armor there's not a whole lot of detail. It actually kind of looks a little bit plain on the outside there, but there's just so much detail on the inside, on that inner frame, and then on the interior of the armor as well too, on like the back side of the armor. There's tons of detail, and it's always kind of weird when they do that, because I understand having a detailed inner frame, but having a bunch of detail on the inside of the armor always seems weird to me, like, because really who's ever gonna see that? I just don't really quite understand it. But it's all there, and it's really cool as you're putting the kit together. It's cool to see all the detail and everything, but it certainly takes a while. It certainly takes a good amount of effort to get this kit all put together, and then I mean obviously painting it and everything is going to be even more so. But I will just say right off the bat that I don't think this kit is very necessarily beginner friendly, so if you've not really been building models for a very long time, maybe you just wait a little bit before you pick this one up, as it definitely feels more of a traditional model kit than what you're used to if you typically just build only Gunpla kits, especially, as it definitely feels much more of like a traditional model kit, more so than Bandai's typical kind of Gunpla kits where you can pretty much throw them up against the wall and nothing's gonna break on them. This one does seem a little bit more fragile and a little bit more complex, and I guess in that way it's a little bit more kind of like building a Kotobukiya kit than a Bandai kit, if you get what I mean. But let's go ahead and take a closer look. And I just want to start off with a size comparison so you guys can get an idea of just how big this model kit is. So there's your standard 1/44 and 100 scale size Gundam kits. As you can see, it's going to be taller than most 100 scale Gundam kits, so it's a quite big kit. Let's go ahead and talk about some accessories here. So you've got 2 sets of hands. These just fixed posed, kind of open resting hands that you do have to glue together. There are 3 parts that go together for that. You will need to use some glue to really properly hold those together. You also have some articulated hands, which are basically kind of your old style master grade hands, where the thumb is on a ball joint and then the fingers are separated 1 and 3 like that. So they're kind of okay. These also have pegs in them for holding on to the weapon. You've got your 2 little standing figures that you get included with this. You've also got your sort of little kind of like the equivalent of a kind of core fighter, I guess, with a little human, a little guy molded into that. You also have a different option part for that without a person molded into it, if you want to just display this without actually someone flying in this. Now this can be stored in the chest, so you can open up the chest like that, and it's got this big hollow space in the middle of there, kind of like the Turn A Gundam, and that just sits up inside of there. like that, and you can close that back up if you want to, but I'm not going to actually keep mine in there. I'm going to take it back out. You've also got this sort of like baton kind of looking sort of weapon that I'm guessing maybe has some sort of like electrical weapon as well too, possibly. I don't really know. Again, not familiar with the source material, but this just plugs here onto the back of the forearm like that. And the hole in the side there is where you can run one of your kind of like energy cables from that to one of these holes here in the crotch. Now for doing that, you've got 4 of these little connector bits, so you just plug the wire into there, and then plug this into the hole here on the front of the crotch. Alternatively, you can plug it into one of these holes here on the inside of the binder as well too if you want. I'm not really sure what difference there is between that, but then you just plug that into the weapon, have that not fall off the arm would be good. This will plug that in here first and then connect it to the arm. And this is a copper wire in there, so you can kind of change the shape of this to have it looking a bit more realistic, so that it's like actually affected by gravity, actually kind of hanging down, something like that, if you wanted to have that on there like so. Otherwise, you've got 3 more of those wires which are meant to attach to its main weapon, which is this massive gun. So here's this thing, and measuring that, it comes out to 36 centimeters long, alternately about 14 inches in length, so it's very long. It has a really cool feature here on the main handle. When you slide that back, it pops up that little section there on the top. So that has a little mechanism there for that. And then it also has a little fold out attachment point there on the side that you can fold back in if you want. And then also has a bipod on the front. You can fold out the legs, fold those down, and then you've got a little bipod for that as well too. Otherwise, that's going to be kind of all that it really does. Otherwise, it's just a big, massive gun, and it certainly looks very cool. You've got seam lines basically going all the way down that, so plenty of seam lines on this. Also has this little switch on the side there that I guess you can use to kind of switch forms. So it said there's a little B, R, and I guess this one is like maybe off or something, I guess, but you can switch that, move that to whichever mode I guess you want to be firing this. I don't really know, again, much about that, but it's a cool little gimmick that you can do with that. And last thing, of course, our kind of beam effect parts for the, what I'm going to call beam sabers, although they're probably not actually called beam sabers, which are stored up in the forearms, which seem like the easiest way to get these out is probably going to be by plugging the beam effect in and then pulling them out like that. There you go. And these will plug into your kind of manipulator hands, and they're quite long. These again are longer than your usual 100 scale size beam saber effect parts. Also, if we remove one of these binders, now you can leave it without the binders, and usually when you see it like with the big massive gun, you see it with only the one binder on the one side. I don't really know what that's all about, but for some reason you can do that if you want. And what I want to show you on here is number one, how cool those clear parts look with all that detail up inside there. That's going to look really good once that's actually all painted and everything. You paint that in like a nice silver or something, going to be looking very cool. On the inside of here though, of course, we've got the little doors which will open up, and we've got all this stuff inside of there, all those individual pieces. Now I don't really understand why or like that those were all individual pieces. This could have just been molded as one piece, and just having those all kind of molded together wouldn't have really looked all that much different. I think it could have looked just fine like that. And these little bits here, so these are all like, I guess, extra ammunition and things like that, some sort of like mine, I think, something like that. Again, sorry for not really being too aware of the source material, but again, that can just be plugged onto the side of the arm. You have some bend there, and I mean, as for the rest of the articulation, I won't really get too much into it because kind of there's articulation all over the place, and you guys will see as we talk about just some of the posing later on in the video, but you've got like little bits of articulation kind of all over the place. These little hooks on the front will move around here on the back. This is kind of like the only major stickers on it. Those stickers go on those wings for like the back skirt, which are kind of hidden up underneath there anyway, but those move. All the little rubber piping bits are fine. Those work pretty well. You've got those up in here, and then in the back of the neck, that's where your other wire is going to be like wrapped up and down across those parts of the back of the neck, which looks pretty cool. Not really all that visible though, but it's a nice detail up in there. Otherwise, just, I mean, there's articulation all over the place on this thing, so it is very nicely articulated, and you guys will see that in the posing later on in the video. And of course, we do have the stand as well too, which, like I said, I think does look really cool. Just the shape and the details on that does look quite nice. The arm of the stand is very basic, just looks like that. You've got a little bit of movement here at the top as it basically can be moved. It's a very tight connection there, I think. Maybe it's better to just take that off there, and it seems like it should ratchet, but I think maybe it's best to just take it off and put it back on there. So you can basically change the angle of that farther to the front or farther back. So it's a very basic base, but it's cool that that's included. Now the kit does also transform, of course, so let me go ahead. I'll show you what it looks like transformed, and then I'll just move into some kind of final posing and my final thoughts on the kit overall. Alright, and here it is transformed. Now admittedly it is a little bit tricky to get it there. It's not quite as simple as it seems. You kind of have to fold the knees up into the bottom of the chest. There's like a little tab that folds out on the bottom of the chest parts there, and you gotta kind of plug that in. That was a little bit tricky. Otherwise, I mean, it's just kind of like turn the arms, point the head up, extend the backpack part out a little bit. Really not that difficult of a transformation. It looks kind of okay. It's interesting. It looks like just a folded up robot, essentially, kind of like the Wing Gundam transformation, sort of along those lines. So not the best or the most interesting, but it can do it anyway. So at least there's that. If you guys care about being able to transform this, there it is. It does it, and it does it relatively convincingly anyway. Here we are, guys. Just to wrap up the review, I'll show you some different action poses using the different weapons and everything. And this is a really cool kit. Definitely, if you guys are a fan of the L-Gaim Mark II design here, then it's definitely worth checking out. Obviously, we have the new HG version that's going to be coming out through the Bandai Store, which I think will probably obviously be a much simpler version of this. So if you liked a bit more complex model, if you typically like building master grades as opposed to high grades, for example, then this version is maybe going to be more appealing for you. But we'll just have to see how good the HG is. But this kit is quite nice. Like I said, it does feel a little bit more touchy, although I haven't really experienced any problems with anything like falling out. Really, the only pieces that I've noticed that tend to fall out kind of easily are just the two orange clear pieces in the head. Sometimes those can pop out of there, but honestly not that big of an issue. Really, everything kind of stays together pretty well. The rubber pieces at the neck and the midsection are understandable as to why they're rubber, I guess. They do kind of need to bend, especially the one in the midsection there does need to bend a little bit. And it's kind of interesting how the actual inner frame, it's like skeleton there in the midsection, is just this one very kind of thin spine piece basically holding the top and bottom half of the kit together. But then with the use of the clear parts and the binders and the wire parts going to the weapons, I mean, it's a very cool kit using the different materials and things like that. It makes for a really cool looking design and a cool looking kit. And while the majority of the detail is going to be underneath all the armor, there is still a good amount of detail on the outside of the armor as well too. So once the kit is actually all painted up and everything, you fill in all the little details and paint in all the little color apps, small little color apps and things that are missing. It's going to be a very impressive kit once it's all painted up as well too. And no matter how you end up wanting to pose it, the articulation is really quite nice. So you can do pretty much anything in the way of posing this kit. And as for the weapons, it holds them pretty well. Even though that massive gun is gigantic, it does hold it actually pretty nicely. You kind of have to do a little bit of finagling to get it into a pose, but then once it's there, it holds it well enough considering how massive the gun is. So that's pretty good. Overall, it's just definitely a very cool kit, definitely something very different if you're only building Gunpla all the time. It still kind of checks all the usual boxes of just having the same inner frame and just building a kind of big mecha master grade kit essentially, but it's got a very different look and obviously a very different feel to it. So if you're looking for something different, I would definitely recommend you guys check this out. If you want to wait and see how the HG is looking before you decide which one to get, that's understandable as well too. I think that one will be out for still a little while yet, so you've got some time. But this kit, I can definitely say, is worth checking out if you're a fan of the design. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any other further questions or comments, do feel free to leave those down below. Do check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. You can check out this kit and all sorts of other stuff there on the site. You can save 10% off everything there using my coupon code ZakuAurelius10. And as always, guys, I appreciate all your support, whether it be liking the video, commenting, subscribing, all of that is greatly appreciated. So till next time, hope you're all having a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye bye, guys.